If there's one thing I hope you know by the end of this video is that the Immortal is not just a PvP weapon. By this point with Season 20 coming to a close, or if you're watching this in the future, Bungie's dealt with the Immortal. It's a lot less dominant than it used to be in PvP. But just because it was toned back in PvP doesn't mean it isn't a great option for PvE players. We'll run through why that is and then how my PvE players can get a good roll and get out of trials quickly. And as of the weekend of May 19th, it is the current Adept weapon as well, so if that matters to you, you could also get some Adept mods to make it just a little bit better, although to be honest, I don't think that's a huge deal in PvE. Also, I'm shooting for 5,000 subscribers by Season 22, so if you enjoy the video, subscribe and see if we can hit that goal. SMGs in PvE have been really powerful for years at this point. For a while we had the Recluse, then it shifted to Funnel Web, Ikilos SMG, and a few others over the years. Bottom line of most PvE primary weapon metas are SMGs, so that's a nice start. Immortal being an aggressive frame fits in there pretty nicely. But maybe more importantly is that the Immortal also has really great trait combinations, which you might not have heard a lot about because streamers were deleting anything that wasn't rangefinder and target lock for a while. First off, it's got Threadling if you want to really build into Strand. Demolitionist is also great for grenade builds, granting energy on kills, or straightforward damage perks like Kill Clip and Target Lock. All these provide really nice utility, either buffing your damage or improving your build, and with Strand having released just a few months ago, it's nice to have another option since there aren't a ton of Strand weapons yet. Any of those traits I just mentioned, plus Threat Detector in the first column for that extra handling, stability, and reload is going to be absolutely perfect since you're in short range anyway, and Threat Detector is going to be active like all the time. Encore is actually another trait I really like in PvE, granting up to 20 extra range, 32 stability, and additional accuracy bonuses if you have it stacked up to 4 times. Headshots add 2 stacks while body shot kills only add 1, but it's actually pretty easy to just max out your stacks and keep rolling in PvE since you're going to be dealing with a lot more enemies than PvP, for example. And those stat bonuses are pretty substantial actually. What I really like about Encore is that if you get stuck with bad barrels or a bad mag or masterwork, the stat bonuses really make up for that. Even landing surplus for that performance buff is going to be really nice in PvE when you need quick reloads and consistent headshots. The main point is column 1 has great stat boosting traits, and then column 2 has super flexible damage and utility options that you expect out of a top tier SMG. And last thing before we move on to how to actually get this thing, I did want to go over the origin trait, Field Tested. Field Tested provides buffs to range, stability, handling, and reload based on the amount of stacks you've accumulated over time, which you earn by dealing damage basically. Now I've heard people say it's not great in PvE because it really takes time to stack up the buffs, which is kind of true, but there's one important little detail that you shouldn't miss in there. Field Tested only goes away if you die. You literally have to die to lose this stat buff, which makes this one of my favorite endgame origin traits, because in situations like Grandmaster Nightfalls or raids, you're avoiding death at nearly all costs. You really shouldn't be dying all that much in these activities. And in most cases like this, you'll be hanging onto those stacks of Field Tested for minutes at a time. The increased reload is amazing, the extra handling is a nice bonus to just make it feel a little snappier, and the range and stability increases, while not a ton, give you a little more distance to land shots comfortably from behind cover. I absolutely love this trait. It's simple, but it just makes your gun feel so much better, and it rolls on a number of world weapons that drop this season, so definitely give it a try if you haven't just yet. Field Tested feels small at first, but when you ramp it up to 5 times, it's actually really nice, and it just layers on another level of stat buffs on top of already good traits on a weapon like the Immortal. Now it's worth noting too, it does have Alacrity, which kind of cuts to the chase if you are playing solo, then that's just going to give you all those buffs right off the bat basically. So if you're playing solo, definitely go with Alacrity. Now if you don't enjoy PvP too much and you just want to get in and out of trials for the loot that you want, Engram Focusing will be your best friend, since you can now focus Engram specifically into the weapon that you want, in this case, the Immortal. Everything you do during trial should be trying to feed into more reputation so you get more engrams. So first off, don't lose. Maybe grab the bonus reputation card if you don't care about flawless too much. That one is a nice little buff, and do your best to get to 20 round victories. Once you hit 20 rounds won, you'll get increased reputation for that. So if you don't care about flawless, just get those 20 rounds won, not games, but individual rounds, and then farm off of that card. Over time, you'll get a handful of engrams, and you'll probably be able to get a decent roll for PvE. Now after that, you can still earn a little bit more rep by having a 7-win card. It doesn't have to be flawless, but games after that will drop increased amounts of masterwork materials, which is actually really nice, and they'll also have a chance to drop an entire engram, which is honestly probably the best way to go. If you can get to a 7-win card, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the amount of engrams coming your way. Like I said, Engram Focusing is the single best way you can get guaranteed drops of whichever weapon that you're looking for, and while it is a little pricey, I'd rather spend some legendary shards and glimmer than take the chance I'd have to grind trials longer than necessary. Now you do have to get a single drop of the weapon at some point to unlock Focusing, and I know the Immortal has been part of the reputation track at rank 10 in the past, although I have reset a couple times, so I don't know if that's the case for earlier resets, but if it is in your rank up pathway, that would be another easy way to get your hands on a guaranteed roll. Well, that's all I've got for today. I hope this video was helpful and you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe for more Destiny videos just like this. I did a whole build video for Hunters and Radiant a couple weeks ago that might be worth a try for trials if you do end up farming the Immortal this weekend, so you can check that out in the end cards here in just a moment. I'll also be doing all kinds of videos for Season of the Deep coming up here starting this next week already, so keep an eye out for those videos too. Anyhow, as always, thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys next time.